So we've got a little more Assassin's Creed Origins information, and my bank account's really happy about it. So we're going to go over a few of the things that we got recently. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, but lasers, Fishy already did this. And listen here, you little fuck. I'm not Fishy. I'm lasers, and this is a lasers. I just said I'm lasers in a sentence, unironically, and I do now want to kill myself. Anyways, we're just gonna hop into it, get on with the information, and let's see what we got here. So the first one's coming from an interview with Games Radar, talking towards the tombs that are going to be featured within Assassin's Creed Origins. Ashraf Ismail has stated, we have quite a few tombs in the game, and they range from being classic puzzles to navigation puzzles and navigation challenges. A lot of them are actually built off of the actual true tombs that we've researched, which is super interesting. So these are going to be actual locations, very similarly to in Assassin's Creed 2, where you had these tombs that were inside of famous landmarks, and they were real things. That's really, really awesome. So we're going to be having that again, but this time with actual tombs. So it's not just the buildings that are real, it's the tombs that are real as well. So it's going to be super historically accurate and really awesome to explore. He also stated, so we put a lot of effort into recreating these tombs. Everything that is actually known, we've mapped it out. We have images, we have research that's been done on the tombs. We actually try to replicate it as close as possible. So for example, the Greek pyramid, there's a quick note here that this is actually could be a typo because they've said Greek pyramid, so do they mean Greece? Or maybe someone's going to be in the comments being like, no, the Greeks built pyramids in Egypt too, that's why. Maybe that's why. Who knows? Someone let me know. I'm too lazy to research it, but really, that's not my job. My job is just give you the information. So if you don't research it, go ahead, but this is what they said. Anyway, all the chambers, all the corridors are authentic representations. Now, of course, we have a bit of fun and go a bit further, like what are the secret chambers that have not been discovered yet? So obviously, there's going to be a little bit of, you know, fiction related to this, but obviously that's just going to make it a ton more fun. So, you know, you've got these real tombs, which they add their own things to, which is just, that's the best way of doing it. Don't create it from scratch, but don't do just complete fact, because we don't play Assassin's Creed for complete fact and history. Only Jamie and Marvel fan do that. So, you know, we're all gonna have a lot of fun. Meanwhile, they'll be really upset. But that's awesome, and I can't wait to see, you know, what these tombs are gonna look like. I'm really, really excited, and hopefully we might get to see a bit more with the Gamescom footage that will most likely be coming out. So the next thing we've got here is from the UK Xbox magazine and PlayStation magazines, talking towards a few various things. So the first thing that's stated is there are several factions in the world, and considering the NPCs have their schedule throughout the day, Ishmael basically says that they could meet each other on the road if they cross paths on their day-to-day routine, and if they're enemies they might fight, and if they're allies they could hug each other, and that's essentially what he gave there. So far, the only factions we know of are the Ptolemies, which are the main enemies across the world. You know, they're kind of like, you know, the guys, they collect taxes, they have camps, they try to oppress the people, you know, etc, etc, etc. We have the bandits, who are, you know, bandits. You know, they steal things across the world. They're kind of like, I don't think they're like the thieves from Assassin's Creed 2 kind of thing. I think they're more, you know, they're more your enemy than that. They're kind of these bad people that, you know, will fight the Ptolemies, but will also fight you as well. So there's that little group there, and I'm sure by fighting bandits, you're probably going to get some good loot, considering they steal a lot of shit. And then we also have the rebels, who Bayek's going to be fighting with throughout the storyline, and I'm assuming that he will, you know, while he's got the rebels and he's rebelling and things like that, he will somewhat form the Brotherhood from these rebels, possibly, or it could be his own thing entirely. But who knows? I'm sure this is going to be interesting to explore these various factions, and that's cool to know, because they've really been pushing this whole thought, an idea of, you know, the NPCs have their own routines. You know, you've got NPCs that will do things throughout their day, and that's the same for these various factions. And so if they come into contact with each other, you're going to see these fights. And he said it's not just something that spawns in the world, you know, because you're a distance away from where it can happen. These aren't randomized events. They're just things that might happen if these NPCs come into contact with each other, because they have their own routine. So if you're on the other side of the map, there could be something happening on the far side of the map, but you don't know because you're not there to see it. So that's super interesting, and they've really been pushing this whole thing of NPCs having their own routines in the world. So, you know, it's not this thing, I don't think it's this thing they're exaggerating anymore, but it seems like it's something that they really want to talk about, and it's going to be interesting to see if maybe you can follow an NPC throughout the world and see what they do to really test this theory, and I'm sure a lot of people, including probably myself, might make a video on it. We'll do that when the game is released. Next thing he talked about was the whole thing about taming animals, and he says there is a skill in the game that allows you to tame animals, and he actually shared a story talking about what happened while he was testing the game. He said at some point when we were testing out the feature, I had tamed a crocodile. I ran off somewhere, and the crocs are pretty slow, so they're not able to stay at your pace. Lions can, leopards can, hyenas can, and so on, but the crocodiles are a bit slower. So I left and actually thought it had bugged out and that the crocodile had lost its connection to me. So anyway, I continued playing and I was doing a quest. I was in the middle of a camp and I was actually getting in trouble. I was dying effectively and my health was super low, and out of nowhere, this giant crocodile leaps out of the grass and takes out some of the guys I was fighting with. It was a really amazing moment and felt so cool. So he was literally traveling the whole time trying to catch up with me, and it literally took him 15 minutes to get where I was. The feeling was super cool and it stayed with me the whole time. So the animal taming is a lot of fun and you can pretty much tame every predator type animal. It's a cool ability. So I was a little bit iffy on the whole taming animals type thing, like how does this work in the game? Is it Animus trickery? I don't think so. I think there's going to be something more to it. Hopefully they explain it in the game, because, you know, it's a bit weird to just randomly tame animals, but who knows? I mean, you've got Senu, who's your eagle, you've got Amunet, who's always had a controllable snake kind of thing that she tamed. So, I mean, it is very, very possible that there is an explanation of this within Assassin's Creed lore that they haven't necessarily explored to date. So, I mean, who knows? We'll probably find out a little bit later on, but that's going to be a ton of fun. I can't wait to tame a crocodile and use it to assassinate a crocodile. Or the crocodile, possibly. Who knows? And I also can't wait to tame a lion and take it into Alexandria and see if it kills everyone, because that'd be freaking awesome. I mean, it'd be terrible. That's terrorism. But it would be hilarious to do. So I'm sure I'm going to do a bunch of videos trying to push the game to its limits and see what we can do. So that's going to be a ton of fun to do as well. And the last thing is, among the unlockable skills, there will be a chain assassinate move. Once the player has successfully assassinated someone, he or she will be able to attack again right away. And there's also a chained throw within the combat system. If the player enters into a fight by killing someone, they can actually pick up their weapon and throw it at another enemy, like we saw in that one demo where he assassinates the guy, uses a throwing knife to assassinate the other guy. And it's very similar to things like, I think, Shadow of Mordor had it. I think that things like, there's a game, what was it? Oh, Far Cry has it. So it's another one of those things, and that's going to be super interesting, super cool moves, you know, things like that. Skill trees have to be interesting, because there's one thing that I did say Horizon Zero Dawn did badly, and I think that's the skill tree. The skills weren't interesting enough, so hopefully Assassin's Creed Origins has some really cool and interesting skills that you feel pushed to get throughout the game. So thanks for joining me. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like on the video, would appreciate it, as well as subscribing to the channel. Stay up to date on all things Assassin's Creed Origins. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on the video, but also what was your favorite thing that I mentioned from these different, you know, pieces of news? What animals are you going to tame, and what are you going to do with them? What do you think of that feature as well? Let me know in the comment section below. It's very, very interesting finding out what you guys think of various features within Assassin's Creed Origins, and of course, you know, I love reading the comments. So thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!